Hello, everybody. Oh, that's too close. Yay. I guess we won't wait for everybody to get in. So, we're going to go over how to use the radios because it's pretty easy, but not necessarily as easy as everyone thinks. So, we have all these are new as of last year, and there's to turn it on the right or the left side, there's mode. You just hold it till it turns on. And everyone should be on channel 1.1. So if you're not, then bring it to the office and we'll get it changed. Now, speaking to it, you have to hold, there's a button on the right side, or I guess, yeah. You hold until it beeps. This one doesn't beep, the old ones did. And you say, cabin 13 for Jason. The important part is to let go of the button. That's when it beeps. And then you wait for a response. And then same thing, they'll have to respond, this is Jason, go ahead, and I'll let go. And then just wait a second to then respond back with whatever you might need. Can't really think if there's anything more we need to know. Oh, well, I will say every cabin will have one. Hide them like in a top corner where the kids can't get them. Have them off unless you need to use it. And then once you're done, you can turn it off. All of the leadership team should have it, along with each, like Fancy Corner should have one. Arts and Crafts should have one. Not sure else. Oh yeah, don't say names of campers. If you, like I said, you can say cabin 13 for Jason, cabin 13 for Leela, but say just, hey, we need someone to come. Don't say necessarily what the problem is, because we don't want the kids to hear or know what is going on if it's something that could be an emergency. But yes, they'll all be on 1.1, or should be, and then if they're not, we can get it changed. Yes. But yeah, and yeah, try to keep your try to keep it as short as possible. You don't need to say anything super long. Just, hey, Jason, we need you at Arts and Crafts. Sarah, we need you at cabin 13. Something like that. Yes. Those ones we can, that one I don't remember what we exactly want to say for that, but we'll get that figured out. Anything I forgot? Trying to think if I forgot anything. I think we're good for now. All right, I don't know where Katie went.
Very impressive how difficult that is to get out of there. Thank you, Jason, for talking about radios. It seems silly. This becomes like a weirdly big problem at camp. Radios are essential for communicating to each other. So please make sure you're clear on how you're using it. If you need to practice, we can work on that. But it does create more frustration and lost time when people aren't using radios correctly. So, like I said, weirdly large issue that comes up at camp, but it does. So, the next thing that we are going to do is we're going to break out in groups, and we have leaders of your groups. Most of them are going to be part of that core leader team that I talked about, and they have a list of things that they're going to talk to you about that is relevant to what your general position is. So we're going to break into groups of full-time counselors night counselors, and support staff. And I'll tell you where to go in just a second for that. This is a longer time. This is where you get to ask a lot of specific questions about your role, both how it works in the schedule, what you need to do. And what we're going to do in this time is we're going to go over where your role at camp kind of fits into the week schedule, where your important parts are that you need to pay attention to. And then last year when we did this, we had our groups come up with tips and tricks for future. And so we have a list of those too that we'll be sharing with you. So we are actually like ahead of schedule because that video was shorter than it said it was going to be. So better to be ahead of schedule than behind. That means we get a little more time to do this. And then after we're done with groups, it's going to be lunchtime. So that's kind of what we have for the rest of the morning here. It is starting to get warm in here. And it unfortunately will continue to get warm as the day goes on. So groups do not need to stay in this room. We can break out. There's this room over here. I don't know what it's called. This little room? That's a truck. I thought that was a fire alarm at first, and I was like, I talked about it being warm, but it's not that warm. A group can go kind of in this area here, and a group can stay in here or find another like common space. There's the youth room back here behind here too. So I'm fine with you going elsewhere outside of this room. Please make sure that you are staying as a group though. This is a time to really, really dial in on what your role is at camp and get good guidance. Often we'll hear people at camp say, I didn't know about that. I didn't know I was supposed to be there. I didn't know that was part of my job. This is where you find that out. So if you're wandering around and you miss information, that's on you. And then we'll get frustrated. So we're going to do that. Group leaders, go ahead. I'll have you meet in spots here, and then you guys can decide where you want to move to. And then we have lunch at 12 o'clock. We encourage you to stick with your groups at lunch to bond and mingle and get to know each other. So cabins, if you guys can try and eat together as a cabin so you get to know each other, that would be great. Support staff groups, you are also broken into other smaller areas of responsibility. So if you can eat in those groups, that would be great. Of course, I can't force you, but I am heavily suggesting that. So we will have full-time counselors. Go ahead and gather here, and you can work with your leaders to figure out where you're going to go. Night counselors, let's gather back in that corner, and we'll figure out where to go. And then support staff can gather in this corner. If you're unsure if you're support staff, you are if you're not a night counselor or full-time counselor. So go ahead, do your groups, and then we will gather here at 12 for lunch, and we'll pray, and then we'll eat. Thank you. All right, we're going to go ahead and say a quick prayer before we start going over lunch stuff. So I'm going to wrangle our last folks out here. For lunch. All right. So we have pizza and salad and dessert for lunch. There is a table for cheese pizza. There's a table for pepperoni pizza. Dessert is like in the little room area there, and drinks are over next to the kitchen. So when you go out, that's where you'll grab your stuff. And I just want to say a big thank you to our volunteers that helped get food and coffee and everything for you guys today. Food is good. So please make sure you eat. Again, if you can sit with cabins and your breakout groups and stuff like that, that would be great. Counselors and night counselors, if you're able to sit in your cabins together, that would be good. So you can start building those relationships there. So after lunch, just to give you guys a heads up on what we have the rest of the day, because sometimes it is nice to know what's coming. After lunch, Autumn's going to bring us back in. She's going to talk about the Child Protection Plan, which is really important for you to know. It's how we keep our campers and ourselves safe, both physically and mentally and legally. So important pieces to cover. And then right after that, Dave will have us going into a game where we again go over camp rules in a more fun and lively way. We'll have a break after that. And then Joe will cover kind of last logistical pieces that you guys need to know, including things like how Sunday setup works, birthday party, getting bus help, stuff like that. So we'll go over those pieces at the very end of today. Anything else that I need to mention real quick before we break for lunch? For anyone? No? Yeah, if your name tag is wrong, let Joe know, please, so we can make sure we have a correct one for you. Don't suffer in silence and have us call you the wrong thing all week. Yes, and don't wait till we're at camp to let us know, because that makes things much harder. Okay. From lunch, thank you. There's angry people out there. They need lunch too. So we have a quick lunch time. So we only have about half an hour for lunch, so 12:30. So get your food and then sit down. Yes, Joe. Yes. If you are someone that prearranged to leave early, not that you're tired and you're going to leave early, leave your name tag behind, please, because we will be back here tomorrow. All right, I'm going to say a quick prayer, and then I need everyone, again, since we only have about half an hour for lunch, don't do any of this shy, like, oh, someone else start. We need you to get your lunch. All right. Thank you, God, for this amazing group of volunteers. Thank you for people that have a passion for your mission and that care about the least of these. Thank you that everyone has shown up and that everyone is healthy now. I just pray for our food. Thank you for the ladies and the other volunteers that helped put that together for us. And I pray that meaningful connections and relationships come from today, and that you help us stay awake and focused the rest of today as well. In your name, amen. All right, go.
check, check. Is this thing on? Cool. As people are filtering in, I have a joke for you all. What do you call it when a chicken is looking at a salad? Chicken sees a salad. All right. Thank you. Well, we're going to get started. I think if I have my slide, first slide should say Child Protection Plan. Yeah, there it is. Okay, cool. Hi, everybody. My name is Autumn. I'm on the leadership team for the Children's Central Coast. I'm just a human, and I'm going to be talking about the Child Protection Plan. Ta-da! If you don't know me, please introduce yourself at some point. I'd love to meet you. I'm also going to be helping out with Brunch Club during the week of camp. Cool. Okay, so a Child Protection Plan consists of 3 sets of 3 letters, and I tried to make it organized for myself so it would be organized for you guys. So we have 3 T's, 3 R's, and 3 W's. The way I remember TRW is to right wrongs. So this Child Protection Plan is in place to make sure that kids are safe, that nothing wrong happens, and so it's in place to right wrongs that may have been done in the past. We are in the present making decisions that help keep kids safe at camp, and also staff and volunteers, which is great. So the T's, the 3 T's, are basically to establish expectations for staff, volunteers, and kids for appropriate talk, touch, and territory. And then the 3 R's we're going to go over in just a second are ways to respond for kids and counselors if you ever see anything that is concerning. And then lastly, the 3 W's are ways that we as people who are supervising can just assess the situation and make sure that everything is safe and appropriate. Okay, so first thing I'm going to go over is, yes, thank you. Now you can go to the T slide. The 3 T's. So just briefly, this is the least brief of the 3 sets of 3 that I'm going to do. Pretty thoroughly go into each of these ones. There are ways to engage with kids. We all come from different backgrounds, so we do want to be on the same page about how we're going to engage with kids, and certain things that are not going to be appropriate at camp. They may be appropriate in your home, they may be appropriate, but at camp we're not going to do these things. So some examples of acceptable talk. You can compliment kids on behaviors or acknowledge positive behaviors. You can encourage kids verbally or via a note written form. You can use teachable moments to help kids learn lessons. You can answer kids' questions. You can promote or help them discover life skills and encourage them in learning new things. These are all things you can do with kids. There are many, many more things you can also do with kids. Those are just some examples. Some examples of inappropriate engagement with children using your words would be compliments or questions relating to their body development or their physique. Some of these kids have been objectified. We do not want to go anywhere near that with the words that we're using with them. We don't want to make sexual jokes or any sexual innuendos. We also do not want to swear or use vulgar language. No verbal harassment, taunting, or abuses. Teasing can kind of cross a line sometimes, and I will also say sarcasm is, again, one of those things, you probably use it in your home all the time, you probably use it with your friends. The kids at this age specifically, a lot of them do not understand sarcasm when you use it, and so they may take what you're saying very literally, and it may feel very hurtful. So don't use sarcasm as a rule. If it happens on accident, usually it's a fine, but we just try to avoid that at camp. And then telling kids secrets or asking them about secrets, we don't want to do that. We want to have communication be open with everyone. Sexual coaching or conversation, don't do it. And then letters or notes about love, desire, beauty, etc. All of that should be pretty self-explanatory, but I still want to say it so that it has been said. Moving on to appropriate touch. So acceptable touch Here at camp, we can do handshakes, we can do high fives, hugs. Hugs are going to look like side hugs. Arm around the shoulders. Those are appropriate ways to hug at camp. And then also helping with activities or games. So if you're showing someone how to hold a bat, that's the kind of thing you can do. Things we want to avoid are private back rubs or massages, rubbing on sunscreen or lotion. Again, something you do with your family, not something we're going to do at camp. Spray on sunscreen is okay. Touching of private parts. There are no exceptions to this rule. Do not do that. Touching a child in anger, disgust, or frustration. Don't do it. Frontal hugs, lap sitting, piggybacks. Sexually touching in any way, kissing, intimate, wrestling, or tickling, or demeaning humor such as wedgies or noogies or things like that. Again, all seems pretty obvious. The frontal hug thing, it's like one of those things where you're like, well, I want to hug my kid. I want to show them I love them. We know that. We know you're here because you love kids. And we want to just kind of stay as far away from things that could look like any kind of abuse or being taken advantage of in any way. And you'll probably have all experienced this in other contexts with children. We just want to stay as far away from all of that as possible. And so while a frontal hug is not typically inappropriate, we're just going to say side hug. And piggybacks, same thing. Piggybacks, super fun. We're just not doing them at camp. Question? Yes. That's a great question. I have my typical is just, oh, thank you, and then kind of just disengaging as soon as possible from that. Katie, do you have another suggestion? Thanks. Yeah, so that's appropriate talk, appropriate touch. And then lastly, appropriate territory, which that's kind of like kids' belongings, but also their space, but also our space, but also the general space that we're in. So appropriate territory, addresses personal boundaries. So things that are appropriate, just making sure you always are too deep, you have two adults behind closed doors, down trails, in secluded areas, etc. And then any one-on-one interactions that you're having with your children, just making sure those are in a public space where you can be seen. And then also just staying in group or public environments. Again, those are appropriate. Not appropriate territory would be favoritism or giving personal gifts to children. Again, we talked about this in training, but sitting or lying on another person's bed, private one-on-one interactions, or being behind doors or secluded areas with only one adult. And then on this list, mooning, streaking, flashing, any purposeful showing of nude private parts. That's an invasion of territory that is highly inappropriate. So stay away from those. We should be good. Thank you all for listening to that list. We're going to move on to the 3 R's. Woohoo! So the 3 R's. Oh, yes. I'm going to talk about it, and then you say, Autumn, you missed this thing that I wanted you to talk about. So, yes, those apply. What I just said, not only us to kids, but also us to each other. We are all adults. We all can tease each other often and say things, but we want to keep our engagements with each other as respectful as we are striving to bring our engagements to children, if that makes sense. So respectful language. We don't want anybody hitting on each other at camp or anything that you think is questionable is probably questionable, so just don't do it, and it will probably be good. Did I say that right?
I'm going to reiterate really quick, too, what I said about hugs for people that are watching the recording, because I'm guessing they probably couldn't hear me. But it is okay to use your words to express your own physical boundaries. So if a kid is coming at you for a frontal hug, again, some of you heard me say this, it's okay to say, I feel more comfortable with a side hug. This is my space. I want to give you a hug, too, but let's do side hugs instead, and give them that language to protect their own bodies also. For adult-to-adult interactions, you will get frustrated with other people at camp. That is normal. That happens when you're around groups of people. However, how we deal with that is really important. You will need to be on your A game with how you interact with the other adults around you, because kids see and hear everything, and they will copy you. So if they see that you are being passive-aggressive with another adult that you are frustrated with, saying things under your breath, disrespecting what their role is, they pick up on that. And then not only does that other person lose the authority they have in that role that they have been placed in, but they also think it's okay to talk to other people that way. Real moment, setting up cabin assignments. The adults were the hardest ones to figure out where to put with who. Because as adults, we have real life interactions and relationships with people. You have to set that aside at camp. Because one of our biggest roles at camp is teaching the kids and stepping outside of ourselves and outside of our wants and what we prefer to happen and what's more comfortable for us. And instead, we are sacrificing all those things to model for the kids. So that is one of the things that is, like many things I try and give grace and flexibility on, it is unacceptable for you to be disrespectful to other adults around you, whether that is to their face or elsewhere. The problem needs to not be the adults at camp. Unfortunately, that does need to be said sometimes. This is a great group of people. I have full faith and confidence that that is how that will happen, but it does still need to be clearly expressed to all of you. That is the expectation, that you set aside your frustration. If that means you, again, need to model stepping aside and taking a breath and getting your own body and own self regulated so you can have a calm conversation, that's fine. Get the support that you need, but do not respond in a reactive way that is hurtful to what we are doing with our kids and hurtful to the other volunteers and their roles and their relationships with others. I'm not usually that intense about things, but it is something that needs to be intensely expressed to you guys. Everyone good on that? Yep, cool. Okay, now I'm done.
All right, we're gonna go into the 3 R's. So the 3 R's, like I said before, these are tools that we are equipping ourselves and the kids with if they were ever to see something that made them feel uncomfortable, unsafe, or we felt uncomfortable or unsafe in a situation. So the 3 R's are recognize, resist, and report. Recognize ties in a lot with those 3 T's that we just talked about. We give kids the idea of what is appropriate and what is inappropriate so they can recognize if they ever see or feel something that doesn't seem to line up with that. And then also, obviously, we have that list so we can recognize what is going on. So having baseline expectations for everybody. We talk to the kids when they come to camp about those expectations. So we address modesty, covering their body and the parts of their body that they shouldn't be showing to anyone or letting anyone touch. We talk about the 2 deep rule with the kids. We also talk about good touch versus bad touch, or just appropriate versus inappropriate touch. And good talk versus bad talk. We talk about bullying. We talk about their space, what is theirs, what people shouldn't be crossing into, belongings that are theirs alone. And then also, we do talk about boundaries regarding communication after camp. So knowing that after camp they're not going to be contacting us outside of Mentor Club and other things like that. So we give those boundaries to the kids. We front load all of that information for them so that they know what to expect during the week of camp. And then, so they can recognize and we can recognize. And then resisting. This is a tool, now that they know what to expect, we tell them, if you ever see something that's going on between kids, between campers or staff or volunteers, make sure if it's something you feel like needs to change, call for help. Because of the too deep rule, there should always be an adult nearby to help. And we tell them you can talk to your counselor, you can talk to the program director, you can talk to the nurse, you can talk to your social worker. These are people you can talk to who can help you in this situation. And then also reporting, the third R, reporting. So again, it kind of goes with the resisting. Resisting is asking for help or saying no in that situation. Reporting is telling counselor, mentor, staff person, all of those people that I just listed, because that is what is going to stop whoever or whatever is breaking the rules in that moment. Cool. Okay, and then the last thing I'm going to talk about is the 3 W's. Okay, so the 3 W's are regarding us as supervisors. You guys are all in one of 2 roles at camp. You are either a primary supervisor, so a counselor, a night counselor. You're directly involved with kids most of the time being their primary supervisor, or you're a secondary supervisor, which means you're a support staff or somebody who is around but you're not directly with the kids. You all have important roles in this. This is called the 360 supervision rule, which basically means we need everybody's eyes on all the time to catch any problem that comes up. So if you're at camp and you see something, these 3 W's are going to help you determine, is this a concern? Do I need to be concerned about this? So if you ever see something, ask yourself these questions. Who are they? Are they a camper, a counselor, staff member? Are they a stranger? What's going on? Where are they? If it's a camper, are they where they're supposed to be? Are they alone? Do they have their counselor with them? If it's a stranger, are they wearing a name tag? Are they walking around in the woods? What's happening? And then what are they doing? So again, are they rubbing sunscreen on a camper? Or are they hanging out and chatting on the volleyball court? So anytime you look at a scene, you can ask yourself these questions, and if everything checks out, great, move on. But those will help you kind of to assess whether you are a primary supervisor or a secondary supervisor. Is this a concern? Do I need to do something? And if you see a concern, as a staff member at RFKC, should you do something? Yes. If you are a counselor, if you are a support staff, all of you have a responsibility and an obligation to speak up or take action if you ever see something where a child is in an unsafe situation or expresses they're uncomfortable. And likewise, if you see a staff member in an uncomfortable situation, it is all of our jobs to look out for each other and look out for the kids this week at camp. Yes, we all have to protect our kids from predators and unsafe situations. So if you see something, do something. Deal? Great. That's all I have for you. I'm going to invite Dave up. Yeah.
Great job, Autumn. Now you get the reverse of that to see something that isn't such a great job. So I am trying to learn in my life, in ministry, how to say no to things. And this week I was kicking myself thinking, how in the world did I say yes to this? Because I suck at games. We're going to do our game now, our Camp Rules game. I suck at games. I'm stuck at organizing them and doing them, but here I am leading this game for us all here this afternoon. So I'm going to need, and part of my challenge here was how to divide this group up into teams. So I think what I want to do is we'll try this, see how it looks, but I'm going to divide it up the easy way and just do cabins. So if you're a cabin, you're a team. If you're the support staff, you guys are a team. I know we lost a few people, I think, for a graduation thing. But anyways, so I'm going to have you all come up in your groups and kind of just, well, actually, no, stay seated. But I'm going to ask cabin 9 and 16 to come up first, please. So I got a couple names for this game. I couldn't decide on which one to use, but one is the Royal Family Feud. The other one was the Battle Royale Family. So you can choose which one you like better, but yeah, I kind of like Royal Family Feud. So this game is a little bit like Family Feud, but not really like Family Feud. So this is a game of skill and intellect. So you're going to need to be quick enough to hit the button first to be able to answer the question. So first of all, to be able to be quick enough to hit the button first, and then have the intellect to actually answer the question properly. So, and like manna from heaven, God provided a prize for this game at the last moment. God, through Sarah, gave us some Seas candy, which will be a prize for the game today. So, cabin 9, cabin 16, you guys choose representative. They're going to come up to the button. Now, I'm going to give you scenarios. I'm going to give you a scenario. No, you're going to come stand right here, just like Family Feud. Stand right here. No, just the representatives, yeah. Sarah, our manna provider right there. So I'm going to give you a scenario. Now, once I give this to you, you got to be the first one to hit the button. But once that happens, you have 30 seconds to go back to your team and confer to see. And so what I'll do is I'll give you a scenario, and then you have to tell me what rule it applies to. So you got to hit the button first. If you're the winner of the button, you go back to your team. You get 30 seconds to confer. You got a ringer on your team right here. We should actually, you need to be disqualified from this game. All right. So is that clear? And then once we have, I need someone, Sarah's going to help me keep score here. So in order to get a point, you actually have to hit the button, but you also got to get the question right. So that'll be a point. And then we'll tabulate somehow, some way, and hopefully come up with a winner to this game. So, are you ready? A camper is reluctant to do something because it makes them feel uncomfortable. Was that Colin? Okay. Go. 1.
It's resist. If they feel uncomfortable, they're empowered to say so and communicate that to everyone.
Yes. Good job. Okay. That's a point for cabin. Now, can I have cabins 10 and 15 come up? That would be awesome. Nine, I don't know, 10 and 15, right? All right, 2-person team up here. We got the Birchall crew representing. All right. Oh, another Birchall crew right here. You're the rep? We are Birchall strong in this camp. Right, exactly, yeah. Okay, we got 3 Birchals right here in my vicinity. I'm so blessed. Okay. You're at the birthday party. Suddenly you realize you've been talking to your friend for like 10 minutes or more. 30 seconds. Okay, you ready? So I should also just let you know. So not all of these scenarios are just from the 3 R's, 3 W's, and 3 T's. These are also rules that you've been told about in your interviews, with paperwork, all rules that you guys should know about already. So it's all fair. Okay.
Make sure you know where your campers are at all times as a counselor, and as a camper, make sure where your counselors are at all times and what they're doing.
Actually, I'm not gonna give you a point on that. That's actually, so I should also say there's actually more than one answer to some of these scenarios. I told you I suck at this game, so. Oh yeah, absolutely, yes, yeah. Good job. That's a good point. So if they miss it, the other team gets a chance to answer. Yes. So you're at the birthday party. Suddenly you realize you've been talking to your friend, a fellow counselor, for like more than 10 minutes. That's the scenario. So what's the rule that it applies to? Do, 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 do. No. It is true, but it's wrong. I love how we're making up the rules as we go along. 30 seconds. Okay, what's your answer?
Supervision and responsibility of your children.
Okay, so those are all great points by both Birchals, by the way. However, what I was really looking for is our focus at camp is to be on the kids and not on our friends who are at camp. So we need, no. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you for participating. Okay, so where are we at? So cabin 11 and 14, please. Oh, wait. I'm going to bring up support staff. Cabin 11 and support staff. Where's the support staff? Not participating? Oh, yeah, I know some vets. All right. So who are your representatives? Yeah, Roy. All right, sweet. Okay, you guys ready? It's a few days into camp. You've started to really connect with a camper. They ask you for your Insta handle. That was easy. Do, 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 do.
Dave, you can't give out any personal information.
Very good. Okay, support staff gets a point. So there's going to be finals. So, okay, so that was support staff in cabin 11. Let's go with cabin 12 and 14. Cabin 14, come on, y'all. All right. You guys ready for this? You've just arrived at camp. You're in the dining hall and you feel your phone start vibrating in your pocket.
No phones at camp.
Okay, that was, what was that, cabin 11? Oh, who was that, 12? Okay, 12. 12 got a point. Okay, let's see. Support staff again. No. Where are we at? So is that every cabin so far? No. We got cabin what? If you haven't been up here yet, come up. 13 and Sarah and Devin. Yeah, exactly. Sarah and Devin. Sarah and Devin. Sarah and Devin. You cannot. Oh, yeah. Well, you can do both. We hired you to multitask, Sarah. Yeah, exactly. Okay. A camper wants to build Legos on their friend's bed in the cabin. Come on, guys. It can't take that long. I mean, I know you got 30 seconds, but really?
Everyone, personal space, one camper to one bed.
Correct. All right. Okay, have we reached the semifinals? Feel like we reached the semifinals? No. This is a competition. There's a winner and a loser. And there's no participation awards in this place. So let's see. Okay, so let's bring up who's our point, Sarah? Who's our point winners? Those are the only 2 point winners? Okay, support staff in 16? Yeah. Support staff in 16, please. Up to the stage. Come on. Rory, yes. It is a long time. I think probably too long. You got a hand, palm on the thing. Okay. This is the Battle Royale family. I can't read my own writing here, so. Well, that's a strategy. I was just saying, if you feel confident. No. All right. Okay, all right. You're out on the basketball court. And what? Okay, you're out on the basketball court, and a camper asks you if they could go to the restroom.
The answer is always too deep.
Yes. Okay, so that was support staff. Support staff is crushing it. So support staff has 2 points, right? Okay, now who's our other 12 and 13? Up to the stage, please. Yeah, Aram, you got it. Aram. Okay. You observe a person you don't know walking in the woods.
it if it's suspicious.
Boom. So wait, what cabin are you guys? What 12? Okay, 12 gets a point. So support staff and 12. Are we down to the finals then? Okay, 12 and support staff. You're back up here again. Come on, G. G money. G money. Yeah, they have to be the same height. So that this works good. This works good. Okay. A camper asks you to give them a piggyback. A piggyback ride.
No piggyback rides allowed.
But why, yeah, what's the rule? What's the rule? Good point.
The rule is, we didn't discuss that part. Personal touch.
Yes. So far then, cabin, what are you guys? 12. So you are the winner almost. But there is something I'm going to invoke here called the Redeem Team. So anybody, so you guys can come up, cabin 12. You're the finalist. You are like the winner, kind of almost, but sort of. But of all the other teams, I'm thinking of a number. So this is the Redeem Team. So even if you didn't get a point, you have a chance to be redeemed here. Redemption, right? It's all about redemption. So I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 7. So each team needs to give me their guess on the number. So we're looking at my cabin right here. Come on, boys.
We are cabin 15. So I'll go number 3.
Cabin 14, 4.
Cabin 10, 6.
Aren't we?
7.
Wait, there's a flaw in my... Okay, let's just bring support staff up here. Support staff and these guys. Support staff. So that you guys don't get a chance, sorry. You're redeemed in Christ. Be happy with that. Oh, well, yeah. So Sarah and Devin were a team, but we're going to call it support staff. Like I said, I'm just making it up as I go along. You hear one camper trash talking another on the basketball court.
Respectful language to each other.
And what's the rule?
It's under talk.
Yes. So your winner. So I have a couple scenarios, and because I took the time to write these cards up, I'm just going to throw these out to all you folks. And you just raise your hand, and we'll just go over these. So this is just kind of a fun way to kind of reinforce the rules and see your knowledge of the rules. So you're hunting lizards with your cabin. You see a guy you don't recognize without a name tag near the cabins. Yeah, you. Yes. Who, what, where, report. Very good. So a lot of these were like negative. There's some positives in here too, like appropriate versus inappropriate stuff. So you observe a camper being kind to another camper, so you praise them for it. Recognize, yes, recognize, but there's another rule that could apply to. Correct. Appropriate, good talk. Yeah, very good. No. Ask Cabin 12 if they'll share their candy with you. Okay. You high-fived one of your kids after making a shot on the basketball court. Yes, you. Safe touch. Okay, that's your game. Good job, guys. And next we have break. So let's take a break, right? Do we have break? Yeah, we'll take a short break. 10 minutes? 5 minutes? 1 minute, Katie said. Now, what is it? 10 minutes. 10 minutes. I heard you, yeah, thank you.
right, everyone. We are at the very end of our day here. I know it's super warm in here, and you have heard a lot of information. So we're gonna try and go through this last bit here so we can get you guys out on time and still retain what little of your focus we still have. So I realized this morning, I was like, why do I have so much more time than I feel like I was supposed to? It's because I missed a chunk of things I meant to talk about when I first started this morning. So I'm going to go over that with you now. Important things for you to know. This is our theme at camp this year, choosing new blueprints. And so there, along with the theme each year, there's Bible verses, there's a theme for each day, the curriculum ties into it, the drama ties into it, all of that stuff. So this is important for you to know. And then, so that's our overall theme. Go ahead and go to the next one, Randy. This is our verse that we have for the week of camp. For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord, they are plans for good and not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope. So all of our stuff is based off of this at camp. This is good to know because this, you can include it in your heart notes, you can include it in your prayers, you can include it in anything you're prepping for camp too. And if you have people in your life that are praying for us at camp, you can tell them as well that this is the theme for the year. And so along with this, we do have kind of broken down themes for every day. We do share, at the end of this, we do share a folder on the Google Drive with all of you. Hopefully, most of you can navigate Google Drive. But all of our slides will be shared in there, the video links, all of that stuff. So you will have access to this information later. So our first day theme is I choose truth. The next one is I choose courage. I choose a team, I choose wisdom, and then finally I choose new blueprints. So you can kind of see what those are about. Like I said, all these slides will be shared with you later so you can look at it closer too. But kind of keep that in your mind, keep that in your heart, keep that in your prayers as you are preparing for camp. Some people are like super organized and on point and coordinate other things with the theme, like their cabin decorations or whatever. If you are on it that much, awesome. I never am. But there's the information for you if you would like it. So now to close out the day, Joe and I are going to go over some logistical pieces with you guys. This is going to be a collection of random information that doesn't really fit into other topics that we go over. But this is really important stuff for you guys to pay attention to because it's details about where and when and what for several pieces. But again, this is a random collection of information for you. If you are a note taker, this may be a good time to take notes. If you're not a note taker but should be a note taker, you should probably take notes. So we're going to have Joe start off and then I'll wrap it up.
Okay. So we're going to start with Sunday. Sunday is next Sunday, not tomorrow, next Sunday. Tomorrow you'll be here for training, won't you, everybody? The 8th, we will have a commissioning service here at CLC. If you're available, it's not required, but we do encourage you to attend. The service starts at 10:30, and the CLC pastor will pray for Royal Family Kids Camp and for the staff specifically. So we do encourage you to be here on Sunday the 8th for that. On Sunday, we also get to set up the camp. That setup starts at 4 o'clock. Please don't arrive at camp before 4 o'clock. Our time at camp starts at 4, but we do encourage you, if you are available, to arrive and help, especially if you're staying at camp, to get yourself set up, and then you can help with other things at camp. If you are in a cabin with campers, there'll be decorations that you'll want to prepare for the campers. That needs to be done on Sunday. Your cabin should be ready to receive campers when you wake up on Monday morning. So don't leave that for later. We do have supplies. Do you know how many? 5? Is it 5? So we have 5 different options for decorating that are available on a first come, first served basis. If you're eyeing one of those tubs, make sure you talk to Katie because she's the one that's going to keep track of who gets what. You don't have to worry about taking the tub right now. The tub will be there for you when you arrive on Sunday. But if you want to peek, you're welcome to peek. Right. You can, if you have your own plan for decorating, along with the follow the new blueprints theme, you're more than welcome to do that. Let's see. We're going to be setting up, we're unloading a truck with all kinds of good things for the office. There's also set up for the tea party, for fantasy corner, for arts and crafts, and for the amphitheater. So there's plenty to do. However, we do not provide dinner on Sunday. So do keep that in mind. The meals at camp start with breakfast on Monday morning. Then we already covered the camp theme. Those of you who are staying at camp, you do need to be checked in on Sunday night by 7 o'clock. Please come to the amphitheater and see us at the office so that we know that you've arrived at camp, and those who are counselors can pick up their camper supplies such as bedding and their activity books, Bibles. Usually there's a stuffed animal to take. We also have supplies in the auditorium that you might need, such as hand soap, floor mats. So check that out while you're down in the auditorium. Sunday night, be sure and park your vehicles. You can use small vehicles to take your luggage up to cabins if you're staying the night or to get your cabin set up, but they need to come back down as quickly as possible. They shouldn't be parked by the cabins. And when you do come down, if you're staying the week, we ask that you park in the lower, I believe it's like a grassy parking lot, so that the people who come up to do night counseling will have parking closer as they leave at 10:30 at night to get back to their car. So please don't park in the upper parking on the left side as you come into camp. Park in the lot on the right side, which is a little further walk to get back to camp, but you shouldn't necessarily need to go to your car all week, right? We do need people to ride the bus still. So if you can carpool, so you don't need a car at camp, parking is tight, so it's nice if you can carpool. It's also nice if you're not a counselor, if you can, and you're going to be at registration, if you can ride the bus to camp. We do need a few people who will do that, so please let us know if you're available to ride the bus.
Email if you're available.
Yes.
Don't tell us
Yes.
verbally, because it will.
Basically, don't tell us anything verbally if you really want us to remember.
Yeah.
And everybody knows the email address, ftccentralcoast at. No, I see you gave them away. It is Gmail. And if you are so inclined, add that to your contact list so emails from us don't go to your spam or junk folder. Very much appreciate it. You will get an email link, as Katie said. Hopefully on Monday, there'll be an email link to that folder she was referring to that will come in your email. So do look for that, and if you don't get it, email ftccentralcoast at gmail.com. Let's see. I think I have a few other things here. Keep in mind, too, when you're coming in on Sunday, there is usually a truck unloading or going to unload at the auditorium. So if you're there early enough, don't block that. There's a circle. Please don't block the circle. That it makes it moving the truck around difficult. And please, if you are driving up to the cabin, drive slowly and carefully, mindful of people and buildings, and make that trip very brief. If you forgot something, or you find a camper doesn't have something that they really need, please let us know as soon as possible, so we can make sure we have that for you. Yeah, that would be nice. And we also have QR codes. I don't know if you saw the QR codes on the table as you signed in. Those are still there. Those are for signing up for the Welcome Home Dinner, which is on Saturday after camp. And even if you're not, you know already you're not able to attend, please fill out the form so we know that you know and we know that you're not coming. But otherwise, family and friends are welcome, so you can tell us how many are attending, and then we're much better prepared. And also, there's one for your favorite things, so the snacks that are in the snack shack, snack area for staff and counselors are something you really would hopefully like to have. And the third one is for the most important thing, the variety show on Monday night that you are all going to participate in. And it does ask about music, if you need music. To please get that to Leela, that music, as soon as possible. Don't wait till Monday. That makes it a little more difficult. Again, fill out the form. Even if for some reason you know you can't participate in the talent show, like the sound guys, or for example, still fill out the form saying I'm doing sound for the variety show. Want to make sure that you pick up your t-shirts before you leave and try them on, because the sizes may vary from what you expect to wear, and if you need to change it, tomorrow's the best day to do that, not to wait till Sunday when we go to camp. And right by the t-shirts is a little bucket to put your name tags in, so don't take your name tags home with them. We'd like to keep them to make sure they get up to camp on Sunday, but you'll have them tomorrow. And as always, do wear them at camp. I think that's everything we covered. Yep. Don't wait to try on those t-shirts.
Yeah, and then we don't have to haul a bunch of boxes of t-shirts up too, which is great for us. Oh, there was something that you said that reminded me of something else. I know.
And there is tomorrow.
There is tomorrow. That is true. I already talked about this with night counselors, but also I want to make sure support staff know about this. If you are available Friday morning outside of your normal times, Friday morning is when we pack up camp, and it is mass chaos. And so the more help we have, the better. Just a quick idea of what that looks like. We have our kids attempt their best at piling their items into one location, and then we send them off to play. And so we need people out playing with the kids, running games, playing basketball, helping supervise obstacle courses or something. We'll keep them busy and having fun. And then the counselors pack up all of the cabin. And so we also need people to help the counselors with packing up too. We used to have the kids pack up all of their own belongings, and you can imagine how smooth and efficiently that went. So even though this is chaotic, this is much better than what we used to do. So if you're available to help with that, that would be great. And we will check in again during the week of camp to remind people about that and see if people are available to help with it. I was hoping that whatever you had said that reminded me was going to come back. It did not. It will. I'll think about it at 11 o'clock tonight as I'm trying to go to sleep. I'll be like, oh, that's what it was. And then I'll forget to write it down again. Make sure you're leaving your name tags in the bin today, not just at the end of training tomorrow, but today. Tomorrow we start right at 1:30. At 1:15, maybe aim to arrive so that if there's things like major construction happening at major intersections, we're all kind of prepared for that. We will have some snacks out for you. We don't have lunch for you tomorrow, but we will have some snacks and caffeine for you for tomorrow afternoon. At the end of this, which we're just about done, please make sure you clean up all of your items because there's church in here tomorrow morning. There's not anyone coming in here between us leaving and church in the morning, so we want to make sure we leave it ready for that. So please make sure you're throwing away trash, cleaning up your stuff. We also have some leftover pizza, so please take that with you if you would like, and take that home. And then I think my last piece, and then I'll see if there's any questions about things. If you have people in your life that are like, oh, what are you doing all weekend? And you're like, I'm sitting and listening to people talk at me all weekend long. And then they go, oh, that sounds awesome. How can I support what you're doing? One of the big ways that we could use support is we have an Amazon wish list. And there's a bunch of items that we have on there, whether it's like sensory tools we could use, or backup items of clothing, or books for bedtime, or toys we still need for our birthday bags. We have a bunch of stuff on our Amazon wish list. You can find that on our website, and you should all have our website written or in your paperwork and emails and stuff. But just go to the donate tab, and our Amazon wish list is on there. That's a great way to help support us in a tangible, easy way. Any quick questions before I let you all go out into the fresh air? Anything? Okay. If you do have questions, we're here tomorrow. We will see all of you. Leave your name tags, get your t-shirts. Remember, please be on time tomorrow. We've got a lot to cover again. We want to make sure we get to finish on time. Thank you all. Enjoy the rest of your day. If you are one of the people presenting tomorrow, can you come meet with me for 2 minutes right now before we lose you?